what the mainstream media does. They're pushing her. Without her, she'd be 25 points down. She's so bad. She is such a terrible candidate. She'll be such a terrible president. And without her, without mainstream media, she wouldn't even be in this race. She shouldn't be in the race. Look, what she did with the emails is totally illegal. She shouldn't be in this race. She shouldn't be allowed to run in this race.
That was Donald Trump exclusively on the Joe Pags show, seen here on Newsmax Television right before my show, 6 p.m. Eastern every night. And I got to tell you, he better do better than that in the debate tomorrow. He better bring out what's in the emails that have been discovered by WikiLeaks, anti-black, anti-Latino, duplicitous stuff, all kinds of evil things. And if he doesn't talk about it and bring it out, and he should bring with, well, you can't bring with you. He better talk about it. Jim Hoft, founder of thegatewaypundit.com, conservative blogger, investigative reporter, is with me, one of my favorite people. Hey, Jim, how are you, sir?
Great, Steve. Good to be with you.
All right, so you got a blockbuster story here on your website, and it's Hillary's former chef, someone named Tracy Martin, talking on a radio show today, revealing something Hillary said in the presence with Jacques Chirac, the former president of France.
Right. This was at an event back in the 90s. Jacques Chirac and his wife came into Washington, D.C., and Hillary was in a back room with the chef, and there was a black servant there, and who obviously didn't please Hillary, and so when he left the room, Hillary called him the N-word. So this was in a radio interview yesterday from the former chef.
You know, and this goes along with, we have, on the record at one point in a story by name, Bill Clinton's old campaign advisor when he was running for Congress in Arkansas and lost. So we're talking way, 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 way back. But the campaign advisor, his wife, and another person all went on the record, for as far as I understand it, and said that Hillary called the campaign organizer who lost a derogatory word for Jews. So, I mean, but none of this, the media is not interested in any of this.
No, none of it makes headlines. There's a list of quotes from several books people wrote about Hillary that's going around, too. First, she drops the F-bomb and attacks all the Secret Service agents around her. And from people I've spoken with who were in the Secret Service and served in the Clinton White House, they said she was just a monster. This gets no press at all.
Well, the FBI documents, show that Hillary was contemptuous, they say, of security agents, put them at risk in one situation overseas for a photo op. And we have heard from people who have worked Clinton detail and written books for years about how she's derogatory to people in uniform, whether they be, Secret Service or military, and has very little, or treats them, I should say, with very little respect, according to them.
Absolutely. It's not a secret, except in the mainstream media.
Yeah, well, that's another one. What'd you make of Glenn Thrush and his tweet to Podesta that was revealed, where he called himself a hack and said, "Don't tell anybody, but I'm doing this, but I'm going to send you your part of the story where I mention you, and please tell me if everything is okay, that I didn't blank it up."
Right, and it's no wonder that the media isn't reporting on WikiLeaks, because they're all involved with WikiLeaks. We've seen CNN, New York Times, AP, Glenn Thrush from Washington Post, all kinds of reporters listed.
That's a great point. That's a great point. What, are they going to reveal their colleagues? They're not going to do that, because they might also fear it'll come out on them as well. One more. You talk about a poll in 1980, a Gallup poll, October 26th, 1980, 2 weeks before the election, showed Jimmy Carter leading Ronald Reagan by 8 points, 47-39. Reagan won in a landslide. So talk about in 30 seconds how that relates to today.
Right. What we're seeing with a lot of these polls, Steve, is that every one of these polling firms is putting more Democrats in their polls than Republicans. We know that this year in the primaries, Republicans came out in historic numbers. Democrats were down by 7 million votes compared to 8 years ago. So Republicans have the momentum. It's not being shown in the polls. The polls are likely rigged, as Donald Trump would say. And so I think we can expect a different result on Election Day.
Right.
And this was done by actuaries in Hong Kong, by the way.
All right. Well, we shall see what we shall see. Everybody check out thegatewaypundit.com. And as always, thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Steve.